Come da può capire chi te va bene? Se tu la parla miezza americano, quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come da bene in capo di I love you. Papà l'americano. Papà l'americano.
F4 down the street. I am Leobel Diliamet.
Lorimar Ladao,
Marvin C. Samson.
Aname A. Cago.
So we are here at the house of Mr. Conrad Soria and we are going to have an ambush interview with him so that we will have more information regarding his life. So with me right now is Mr. Conrad Soria. Good evening, sir. So how are you for tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I just came from my subject in English with my AB students. I'm feeling fine.
Okay, sir. What keeps you busy right now? Do you have?
Well, this is the finals, and I'm starting to prepare the grades of my students. Most of them are AB, and then I'm also preparing for the coming jamboree of the Boy Scouts.
Oh,
Because I'll be going there with the members of the Red Cross and volunteers will be doing some job in that during that jamboree.
so let's go back to the making of grades, sir. Is it hard to be a teacher or not?
Not necessarily hard. Sometimes there are sometimes it's stressful, but you still enjoy with that job, especially with meeting with different students and meeting different attitudes and learning while teaching, learning how to be patient, learning how to be kind. So sometimes you cannot really escape from getting mad at things. Anyway, uh, being a teacher is for me a fulfilling task. There may be stress, there may be some problem along the way, but after you can solve all those problem and escape from those stressful events, you can find that teaching is, after all, a very good and fulfilling job.
Okay, talking about stress and problems, sir, how old are you, sir? You are
I'm 55.
so 55, and we can see that your physical appearances and the way you walk is not that exactly at the age of 55. So how do you keep yourself young, or how do you have any lifestyles or exercise?
Uh, I'm joining this Stay Healthy group at the Payay sa Pantalan. We are dancing Taibo. That is why I can manage to dance even the moonwalk of Michael Jackson. And there was even a teacher at the school who is challenging me to dance with her the Latin. Anyway, so keeping fit is one of the things that I am trying to really give time, because when you are a teacher and you're not fit, all those bad feelings that you have in your body will be passed on to the students through your impulsive reactions. Sometimes it happens to me, but I'm just trying to keep fit, especially that my wife is not here. My wife is abroad. I want that when she comes back, she can still see her husband healthy and fit. So
Talking about fitness, sir, do you play any sport, or what particular sport do you play?
I don't have any interest in sports, but I do watch favorite sports like boxing, especially if it's Manny Pacquiao, and my favorite ball game is basketball, of course. So I'm fond of watching those sports, but I don't really play the game. My sports, maybe if I can consider it as sports, is in dancing.
Oh, okay. So, more of Mr. Conrad Soria when we come back.
With Mr. Conrad Soria. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I have one question for you, sir.
Yes.
How did your interest in teaching came to be?
Well, actually, it just came out of the blue because I was not really dreaming to become a teacher, but for so long I was trying to become an announcer, and I did became an announcer. And so I was working first in Dipolog City at the Radio Mindanao Network, radio station in Dipolog City. That was the first time. Then I left that station and transferred to the uh, RPN radio. Then eventually I came to Cagayan de Oro, and soon enough I was admitted at the DXIM. Before that was under the Maharlika Broadcasting Corporation, and it became Radio ng Bayan. But I was assigned to Hingog City when the new radio station was opened. I did not realize that working with radio is actually teaching. All I was thinking was I will be delivering news, I will be having a musical program. But eventually, when I was with radio, teaching is one of the items that I will be discussing on radio, because uh, you have to tell the people what is happening in the world, what is happening all around, about science, about poetry, literary, things. Sometimes I would tell the people about what is these things that can be seen around the world, and that is teaching. So finally, I left my work on radio because of some bureaucratic problems. I decided to resign, and when I resigned, it just came about that while I was really thinking of what to do, a teacher from Bukidnon State University in Ingog City came to my home and asked me to really, ano, to really substitute for him because he was doing something in Manila. That was the start of my teaching in the BSU. But actually, if you have not asked me about it, but I finished education. I took education course from AB. I transferred to education because it was really needed for my work on radio that I am a professional. So I really finished education because the school that I was taking the scholarship was not offering AB. So I just took education. But before I worked with radio, I was a seminarian. I went to the seminary to become a priest. I also realized that becoming a priest is also a teacher, because priests are teaching the people about the words of God. And I was also my teaching career actually started with catechism. So that was the start. I realized now that from the very beginning, all that I dreamed for in my life was actually all pointed to teaching.
Talking about the seminary, sir, how is your relation with God now?
Well, when we are talking about my relationship with God, well, I made God as my priority with my faith. Now, I am not a perfect human being. I am not a perfect man. I have some flaws, mistakes, many weaknesses. But I make God as the center of my life. In all things that I do, in all the weaknesses I have, I make God as the center of my life. I learned that not necessarily from the seminary, but I learned that from my mother, who was very religious. My father was also religious, but he was somehow um something like he was a very strict person, and most of us did not like the way he brought us up. But my mother was the most patient parent we had. Rather. So that was where I learned to develop my faith in God. Seminary life has only added to that development of my putting God into the center of my life. Okay.
Welcome back to
Bells TV!
and good evening everyone. We are here still with Mr. Conrad Soria. I'm Glorimar and Ladao, and sir, my question for you is, what were the trials that you have encountered before reaching your profession?
So many. When we're speaking of trials, when I was still a teenager, I had these problems with my family because my family is not necessarily dysfunctional, but my father was so strict that uh, being strict of attitude of my father made the children scattered. Some went to Manila, some went to Zamboanga del Sur. I came to Misamis Oriental. We were scattered. Um, we did not really experience what the young people today are trying to find from their parents, love, from my father especially. My mother was, as I have stated in the previous interview, that my mother was the most patient parent that I have, and so that was one of my trials when I was a young teenager. But I was able to overcome that, and it did not necessarily hinder my my dream of becoming me today. And then uh, one of the biggest trial I had was when I decided to marry. When I decided to marry, I was already working with the XRG. During that time, I was not receiving my salary for 6 months, and I have to decide to marry my wife because, and I would like to tell this to you, young people, that premarital sex is not good. We did that with my wife before. That's why it became a problem, and I have to decide to marry my wife. During the time, I was supposed to go back to the seminary, but because I have already this problem, this responsibility of facing the my wife is who was still my girlfriend was already pregnant, so I have to answer that. I have to answer the responsibility of marrying her, and so that was the biggest trial. But
Good morning, everyone. I am Leah Clemens, and I am here at Bukidnon State University, wherein the students under Mr. Dario Nambata, which has PEs 1, 2, and 3, are having their PE culmination activity. So let us better watch and enjoy this activity.
As we can see here, Sir Dari Nambata working so that this activity will be successful.
Good morning, I'm Marvin C. Samson. You can see the different students from different departments, from the PSBA department, from the education department, from IT, and from that's all.